Now. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth live stream. In today's live stream, I'm back here with D and I'm here with Taco again. And we're going to be talking about some very interesting topics. The first thing we're going to be talking about is Quavo. We're also going to be talking about a kayak commercial that you guys sent me and requested I talk about. We're also going to talk about Sneeko. If you guys remember in the last live stream on Friday, I mentioned that we were going to be talking about Sneeko. And we're also going to be talking about the Call of Duty pack that they released a few days ago, or it was probably a few weeks ago now. But I just seen that we have to talk about that as well. The first thing we're going to talk about is the Quavo situation. So let's get right into it. You guys can hear me? Are we good? All right, let's start. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. We all we all remember what happened a few months back in November of last year. The world was shocked when suddenly 1/3 of the Migos passed away after attending a dice game at a Houston bowling alley. The incident that happened never made sense to me, as the story that was told seemed odd. This led me from the moment that this happened to further look into what took place that Halloween night, and what I found was telling me a completely different story. It's important to note that when all of this happened, the Migos weren't as popular as they once were. They were falling off. Their time in the limelight was expiring. They were no longer the biggest artists. They weren't the type of artists that were filling up stages anymore. They definitely had their fan base, but their time had passed. You know, they once dominated the Billboard charts. Now they were fading away and were struggling to even get a hit song. It appeared that the industry had forgotten about the Migos and they were moving on to the next new thing. The Migos were also dealing with issues with their label QC, and they were robbing them for millions of dollars. They even led to the group's breakup when Offset left QC after bad business practices. Then, right before the Migos would be forgotten to the masses, Takeoff would pass away out of nowhere, and it sparked interest in the remaining members of the Migos. We know how the industry works, so we know what exactly took place, and we know how this happens every time. We know that we know what's the price for success in the industry. Just like Kanye stated, a sacrifice must be made to have success in the industry. He said that the industry is trying to traumatize, monetize, and it's true. We know that this is true. It appeared to me that it appeared to me that what happened to Takeoff was sadly a ritual offering. And there's plenty of signs that we can find all over this situation. Many truth seekers like myself have noticed strange foreshadowing imagery that was displayed in the Messy music video, and it features Quavo and Takeoff, a video that came out the exact same day that they passed away, that Takeoff passed away. The Messy video came out on October 31st on Halloween Day. It came out, I believe it was in the afternoon. And like I said before, Halloween is an important night to the pagans and occultists. They use it for their rituals. That's the best day for them to perform rituals. That's when we see Wiccans and witches, pagans, they perform ritual offerings to Samhain. Quavo and Takeoff's Messy video showed very interesting imagery throughout the whole video, especially when after dropping that video, later that night, Takeoff would pass away. So when you connect, once we see the videos and we can connect it together, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There's 3 scenes in the video that seems to foreshadow what was going to happen at Takeoff. We've spoken about them before, but we're going to bring them back in because it connects to the new video. The first thing was in the very beginning of the video, Takeoff walks by a group of guys arguing over a gambling bet. This is eerie because we know that Takeoff later passed because of an incident that happened over a gambling bet. The next scene we need to talk about is the scene that shows Quavo on a bed. While Quavo's on the bed, he appears to be reading a document that states Migos contract. Quavo then puts the contract down and picks up and picks up his piece. Then he places one hand over his face with a sad look in his eye and almost looks at the contract like the contract is telling him to do something. The very next scene of the video is the most revealing of it all. The next scene shows Takeoff standing next to a RIP Reaper Halloween decoration poster. This is what made me realize instantly. This is where I saw that Takeoff was going to be offered. This is the moment that I came to that realization. It is not a coincidence that they showed Takeoff next to the RIP poster, then later that day he would pass away. It's obvious Takeoff was Quavo's offering, and this happened literally on Samhain. It happened on Halloween Day. And we know that occultists do this to receive a good harvest. Since Takeoff passed, Quavo has had much more success. It's like his career got reinvented. It's back exactly where he needs it to be. He got to perform at the Grammys. He did that tribute, which to me, it didn't seem like a tribute. It seemed more like an honoring of a sacrifice. In the Grammys performance, Quavo was dressed in all black, supposedly mourning the falling of his brother, while he was wearing a black mask that covered half of his face. We know what that black mask imagery represents. We know what that means. The mask that the mask that Quavo had on was showing the one-eye symbolism, and Quavo was holding Takeoff's chain. To me, this clearly appeared like Quavo was honoring his sacrifice for the good harvest that he was about to receive, and by that time, he was already receiving. Recently, Quavo dropped a new video that showed some even more interesting imagery. I believe the music video is called Honey Bunn, and it connects directly to Messi, in my opinion, because of some of the imagery that I can see in there. This video to me confirms that Takeoff was an offering for Quavo's good fortune. In the video, we see two very important scenes. Let's see if we can get Taco to put the video up, because I need to be able to show the video on screen. You guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat, please. We seem to be having problems when we're playing this clip right here. For some reason, the audio goes, but I think Taco managed to fix it. I needed to show you the entire scene needed to be playing, but you guys remember the previous video. So I'm going to just continue off of this part here in the Messi video. In this video, we see two very important scenes. One scene that shows Quavo inside of a vault, covered in many. Can you bring it to the vault scene? Sorry. Sorry, guys. We're getting into the vault scene. Yeah. You see, it's important that we see. You see, they show in the Messi video, they show the gambling. They show the situation like we spoke about with Quavo in the bed looking over at the contract. This is important right here because that's the contract that says Migos on it. And we see him with the piece. He picks up the piece, he puts it to the side, and like look, now he covers his face. When he covers his face, you know exactly. It seems like he has like a despised look on his face. And then it goes to Takeoff standing next to the RIP poster. That's not a coincidence, people. And now when we get to the new video I believe connects to this situation and to the Grammy situation. In this video, we see two important scenes. One scene that shows Quavo inside of a vault that's covered in money, and then it breaks away quickly to a shot of a file cabinet that says QC contract. This is not a coincidence, people. In the Messy video, Quavo was reading a Migos contract and showing himself with a piece. Then the next scene is Takeoff standing next to an RIP poster. Now in this video, they show the reference to the Migos contract or the QC contract. It's the same thing. And Quavo's literally standing in a vault full of money. We then see Takeoff in another scene wearing the same one eye symbolism mask he wore at the Grammys. There's also another scene that shows Quavo outside of the vault, and behind Quavo there's a man wearing a hoodie and a black mask appearing like a Grim Reaper. It's obvious to me, all of this imagery points to Takeoff being a ritual offering. Quavo has been receiving all of this success, his streams are up, he performed at the Grammys, and the industry is once again talking about him. The industry is once again behind him. Now, no matter what no one says, there isn't this many coincidences in one situation without there being anything behind it. Especially, we spoke about the Messy video plenty of times, but then it connects to this, especially since he's showing us the same mask that he wore at the Grammys. He's showing us himself inside of this vault with all this money, what he received for what he did, for the offering he made. We have to remember, it's not a coincidence. Takeoff left this world October 31st. They said it was November 1st because it happened in the 1 a.m. and in the 2 or 3 a.m. hours, which is even more resembles a sacrifice and a ritual because that's literally the time that this happens. You know, all of this is a sign to let us know that they chose Quavo to make this offering. And I don't even think Takeoff, or not Takeoff, sorry. I don't even think Offset had anything to do with this. That's probably why they were having this disagreement during the Grammy event backstage. You know, they were showing Cardi B having all this, you know, this giant problem that they had backstage, and it was being reported. Everybody heard about it. I think that Offset didn't know that this was going to happen. And I feel like, especially when we see the fact that they went on by themselves, they separated, they did their own things. Quavo and Takeoff had their own, you know, basically their own group at that point. And Offset was basically off to the side. But now we have Quavo, who's now literally going to be, believe it or not, he's going to have the support. He's going to have a rebirth in the industry. His last song did 1 million views in 2 days. That's him by himself. He's usually releasing songs with an entire group. He never really releases that much songs. I think he did about a year ago, he released an album, but he made music with his crew, with the Migos, and that's how he was able to be successful. But now they're going to try to market him as a solo artist, and the proof is in the pudding. The QC contract, they show him the contract, he sees the contract. Now they're referencing the contract again while he's in the vault, surrounded by money. You know, it's very interesting, especially how so many people deny it when all the proof is in their face. All of the evidence is right in front of them. There's no reason to deny it.
Yeah, and we see this very often with groups, with music groups, whether it's band or rap groups. We see that they usually take the most successful one and try to branch them off by themselves. And with this group, Quavo was the most successful one. And I feel the same way that you feel. I don't think that Offset had anything to do with it, nor less knew that it was going to happen because he wasn't even there when it took place. And the way that he grieved, in my eyes, is different than the way that I saw Quavo grieving.
Definitely. And even the way that they were saying, like a lot of people didn't respect or didn't really feel that there was much pain in Quavo's speech at the Grammys. It just seems strange. This whole situation seems strange. The fact that Quavo stood quiet so long and he seemed to be taking Jay Prince's side or be, not really standing up for his family member that's gone, more staying in the back of it, like trying to avoid all the situation all in general. And that's exactly what he did. Quavo did not pop his face out anywhere. He kind of stood hidden for the longest.
Hmm.
That's what
I remember that was he. I think it was only Takeoff was the only person that made a video talking about you guys. Can you guys please stop talking about it? Like it's not necessary for you guys to keep bringing up what happened to his. I'm sorry, was it his brother or his
his
cousin?
nephew.
His nephew. Not to keep bringing up what happened to him because he has loved ones that are hurting over this situation, and everybody just keeps saying it and saying it. While meanwhile, you have Quavo not saying nothing, not even caring, just looking the other way.
Yeah, it never looked like Quavo was super hurt, like he's wanting to appear it to be. What I feel that it's obvious he needed to be reinvented in the industry. He needed his second chance in the industry. He wanted to be, you know, at the top like Drake. He wanted to be at the top like Future in them, and his time was fading away. He was known as a group. He was known as, the Migos, the 2010s, and they barely made it to the 2020s with any type of relevancies. So I believe that this was the moment that he said, you know what, I want to go to the next level. I want it all, and I want to be remembered as one of the biggest in the industry. And I feel that he made that offering. Like Kanye said, we have to look at a lot of people. I don't know why they do this to themselves. They kind of deny this, that what Kanye admitted. Some people say that Kanye is not admitting that his mom was a sacrifice, that this is just this was a misunderstanding, that Kanye wasn't really trying to say that. He said it out of his own mouth. Stop trying to make excuses for him. He literally said this out of himself. He wanted to admit this to the world. He wanted the world to know this. Probably it was probably eating at his conscience. He probably felt bad about it, but he wanted the world to know this. He wanted the world, and he said it. Like, if we look at the whole Donda thing, Kanye was honoring her with his Donda, but he was honoring her in a way to say that she was what rebirthed, gave him that new life in the industry. When she passed, he was entered into the legend status in the industry. All he did was rise up at the cost of his mother. And this is exactly what's going to happen here. And it's so sad that so many people watch this and they don't see the imagery for themselves. They need to be able to wake up, because that one video, that one messy video, it tells you the story on its own. The messy video tells you the story on its own. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys, how do you guys feel about this? Do you think this is what happened? Do you believe Quavo had anything to do with what happened to Takeoff? Because some people think it's either Quavo or Jay Prince, but I believe that they were all involved, and I believe that Takeoff ended up being his offering. So what do you guys think? Let me see in the chat. I want to see what your guys' opinion is. There was some super chats in the last live stream that I wasn't able to get to. I'm gonna try to see if I can have D look those up and find them so I can answer them later when I'm answering questions. But I actually want to move on because this is really what I wanted to cover. That video, it showed it all to me. If you look at the new video, the Honey Bun video, him in the safe with the contracts, that's not, come on, guys. I know you guys see, the people that follow me, I know that you guys understand, and I know that you guys can see it for yourselves. You guys are sharp. You guys have been following the channel for a while, and you guys are already looking out for this. But it's the other people that we need to get to, and we need to show them. Like, I don't think that someone can deny this. How could you deny, especially the scene in Messi when he's standing in front of right next to the RIP poster, and then later that day he's gone. That's right there. That's mind blowing. But let's move on. Let's not continue going in circles. The next thing I wanted to talk about is actually this kayak commercial that one of you guys, I'm pretty sure it was a few of you guys. While we're switching it over, give Taco 1 second. He said we might lose audio for 1 second while he's switching it over. So if you stop hearing me, just give it 1 second. He's going to switch over to the kayak scene. This is not going to happen next stream. I don't know what happened. We're going to definitely make sure that this doesn't happen again. I apologize deeply for the inconvenience. You guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right, Taco's gonna put up the kayak commercial. Play the audio for me, please. Yeah, we got this commercial. It speaks for itself, and it just shows, just like we saw with the last one with the liquid death the last liquid death commercial that we showed in the last stream. They don't take us serious anymore. They think that we can't determine the truth, and they think that by hiding it in comedy, it's gonna just, hide it, and people are gonna look at us like we're crazy. Roll the clip, Taco.
Elites, now we've made travel so expensive. This world-famous resort is the least crowded place on Earth, and no one can afford to. How'd you get here?
Kayak. They compared hundreds of sites to find a great deal on my flight and hotel.
Our secret meeting is ruined.
Doesn't look very secret. Kayak.
Elites, now that we've made travel so expensive, we have this hotel to ourselves. How'd you get here?
Kayak. They compared hundreds of travel sites to find a great deal on my flight, car, and hotel.
Kayak.
You know, when the person requested I look into it, I didn't know what he was talking about. He kept saying kayak commercial, and I'm like, what did kayak do? And then I saw this, and it's just like, what is going on nowadays? What is like, they're gonna joke around, and they're basically making fun of, quote unquote conspiracy theorists. We're not conspiracy theorists around here. We're truth seekers. You understand? We find the truth, and we know exactly what this represents. We know that this is a Masonic symbol, and we know what they're trying to imply. The fact that they don't no longer need to hide anything, it proves what we've already said hundreds of times on this channel. People are just they're too far gone. There's something that we need to do. I don't understand how they see things like this and then think it's just funny, but it's right in our face. It's right in our face. Now, Taco, he brought up a good point when it came to this. He said that he feels like these depictions of the aliens or the elites, whatever you want to look at them, I said they look like dolphins, but then he made a good point that they kind of look like what Crowley drew the aliens as, or the demon as, that he said visited him and instructed him to write the book of the law. So that's also a very interesting point. When I looked at it more, it kind of does, like the way that the creatures look. He was mentioning that dolphins usually don't look like that with their teeth or whatever, but it made sense. Now the imagery with the all-seeing eye, with the meeting, what they're saying is a secret meeting, we know what they're telling us. There is no point in denying this to ourselves. There's nothing to laugh about here. This is not a joke. Kayak is showing that they're a Masonic company. They represent the Masons. And they're letting us know the truth right in front of us. The people that control us have control over us. They're the ones that sit around in a meeting and dictate what our lives represent, how our lives are going to go. This is literally what happens behind the scenes. And they're showing us openly. They have no reason to hide it no more. What's the point? Most of us are just going to watch this commercial and laugh it off. It's a joke. It's funny. That's literally what people see when they see this thing. They don't look at what they're being shown. They're distracted. But there's no reason to deny this. There's Mason symbols everywhere. There was no reason why they had to market liquid death with all this Masonic or witchcraft or satanic imagery like they did. And they have no reason to promote a company that has to do with traveling with the Masons. It has nothing to do with each other. This has nothing to do with what basically they sell or they preach. The same thing like we see with artists. Artists they rap about getting money and all this, but then they have a bunch of Freemason and demonic symbols all over their video. It doesn't match the imagery. This is just showing alliance.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is my first time actually watching this video with you. And the point about the dolphin that you made, when seeing this, actually reminded me about your Nickelodeon video that you did. And in a SpongeBob, I don't know if it's a movie or a show, but in a SpongeBob scene, There actually is a Illuminati
Yeah,
dolphin that looks
you're right.
exactly like these are being
Taco,
depicted.
can you bring it up?
Exactly like these
Look up
ones.
the SpongeBob movie. SpongeBob movie, the dolphin. You can leave the Crowley up there if you can.
He's even wearing the same symbol that they have on the table right here in the middle of his own cloak that he has on.
It's the alien from the SpongeBob movie.
It's a dolphin, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dolphin alien. This right there is a very good point that you bring this up because you see the dolphin that they show has the same all-seeing eye in the middle of I think it's on like a charm that they're wearing on their neck. They have that same all-seeing eye, the exact same symbol in the circle. Wow, that was a very good observation, D. I didn't even think about that. I made that SpongeBob video so long, but that was definitely a great observation. Exa- exactly. It's basically the exact same thing that they're showing us in the commercial. There's got to be a reason for this. I don't know. Maybe if I look into it, maybe there's like an ancient god that they used to worship that looked like this. I could possibly see if I can find something and maybe I'll even be able to make a full video on this because this is definitely interesting to me. And it looks exactly, you're right. It does look like a depiction of a Crowley with the type of head at least. And then with the cloak that it has on, it does look similar. It really does look similar. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. That's actually very interesting. That was very interesting. For the person that said that this is clickbait, we just spent the first 25 minutes of, or 15 to 20 minutes speaking about Quavo. If you probably joined in late, you can rewind the live stream and you can catch the Quavo part. Now this is extremely. It's hard to deny what we're seeing. They showed it in SpongeBob. They're showing it in this kayak commercial. Crowley spoke about it. I believe that the aliens that they're representing and they're showing us, I believe that those are the fallen angels. If you guys want me to make a full video about that, comment that below now. I'll have D write that down so she can remind me, and I'll definitely make a full video on that because I think that that's something that we have to look into. I think that that's something that it's not a coincidence. There's no way. There's not. That's two complete different things. SpongeBob and a kayak commercial. They have no connection, no relevancy together, nothing that connects them together that would have any reason for them to be showing the same imagery. But yeah, let's move on now. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the Sneeko versus the Critical situation. We're going to talk about some very important details and situations that's happening with the situation here. See, in the last few weeks, I believe it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, Sneeko and I believe he goes by Critical, they had some back and forth where Sneeko called them out and Critical called him out, and then they started to go back and forth and have disagreements with each other. They were criticizing each other left and right. Sneeko actually brought up something very interesting about Critical that I wasn't aware of. I've seen a video of his once or twice here and there, but I don't really see him that often. Like I don't consume his content. So when Sneeko brought this up and I actually went and looked it up for myself, I found it. This guy has to be a Masonic puppet just like the rest of them, and it explains his massive following on YouTube, and it also explains why he's in music videos showing the Masonic, not the Masonic, showing pentagrams, showing inverted crosses, showing that he's into Satanism. And then I looked into the Critical guy. He has his own band, if I'm not mistaken, and he said like his inspiration are satanic, other bands that are satanic as well. So he's into the satanic, type of music and stuff. That's what he likes himself. So Sneeko called them out on this, and we saw not only Critical come back and respond, but the entire industry almost start to shun Sneeko. It's like they turn their back against them, and that seems suspicious to me. Usually in situations like this, we'll have some people take either side. There'll be people on both sides, and it wasn't like a situation where it should be Sneeko being attacked by the whole industry. This guy is obviously a puppet and obviously targeted Sneeko, and that's the reason this whole situation is happening. Now, am I on Sneeko's side? I wouldn't say that, because I still have a lot of things regarding Sneeko that I can't really stand behind or agree with. But it does seem suspicious to me that the moment Sneeko starts to speak out and starts to call this guy out about being a Satanist and showing satanic imagery, the entire YouTube community just kind of like attacks him. And literally everybody in the industry seems to just have a problem with him all of a sudden, when for the most part, nobody was really worried about Sneeko or anything like that for a while now. But then this guy comes out of nowhere and he starts to mention it, and now every single person has a problem with Sneeko. That right there, it shows that they're collectively going against Sneeko, because Sneeko is exposing him for his Satanism. You understand? And there's a lot of other things that this Critical guy pushes through his platform. This is technically what he's into. It's like his whole persona. He's a little bit of an edgier guy, and he says edgy jokes and stuff like that while he's on his while he's doing his reactions, not reactions, his commentating. He does commentary videos. I just found that interesting. And maybe we should take a second look into Sneeko, because maybe there is something about him. He made a response video recently, an apology video to Critical, basically apologizing, I guess, because the pressure was getting too high. There was too many people attacking him, and that's what also makes me feel. Once you start to see that mob mentality, when you start to see all of these celebrities getting together to come after him, you know what's going on. You know that these people are trying to get him out of here. And we know they canceled him. I thought that they originally canceled him because of the whole Andrew Tate situation. I definitely want to, I'm gonna look into Sneeko. I see people are saying that he worked with Kanye, and that's definitely a big red flag to me. But I'm definitely gonna look into Sneeko, and I'm gonna see what I can find. Let's move on now. The next thing I want to talk about was the Call of Duty Ritual Pack. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but a while back, maybe a few weeks ago or a month ago, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, they released this Dark Ritual Bundles Pack. And as you can see, we once again are seeing the Masonic All-Seeing Eye in the logo, in the, not the logo, inside of the bundle pack. They have a charm, a Freemason charm that you can put on your Call of Duty character. They also have a mask with a pentagram on it over your mouth. And this is what they're basically selling. And this isn't the first time either. Like, they've done this several times. They got a Call of Duty Hellhounds Master Craft Pack, which is, again, the same exact thing, showing us satanic imagery, showing us what they're about, showing us what they're referencing. And literally, this is a video game, a Call of Duty video game that there's no purpose to add this in there. And it's not even in the zombies side of the game. It's literally legitimately in the regular Call of Duty, the multiplayer game. It's an update pack. But we found so much imagery from Call of Duty itself. I actually wanted to see if you guys wanted me to make a full video on Call of Duty, because the amount of imagery that, if you just take a few minutes to just look in through, there's been imagery since Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Probably before that, if you look in even before then. But these games, like I said before, they have specific reasons why these games are so loved and so appealed and so many people want them, is the manipulation that these games push. A lot of people were upset when I spoke about the dark truth about video games. I made a video a long time ago. A lot of people felt that video games were not bad and they did not have a negative effect on people. A lot of people were referencing themselves. But the thing is, you really think that they're gonna spare the video games? They're just gonna put their influence and everything else and avoid putting it in the video games? That doesn't happen. They have the same symbolism throughout multiple video games. You know, there's Sako, you said something, sorry? You know, even with the Assassin's Creed game, the Assassin's Creed game is littered in Freemason symbolism. It's literally the whole game is about Freemasonry and the history of Freemasonry. When we look at these games, you have to look at them just like we look at the music. We have to look at them just like we look at the movies. You know, I'm not telling you not to consume it. I'm not telling you don't play it ever. You do what you want to do with your life, but just know that is a part of the same system. It's not spared. The same companies that are investing in these video games are the same companies that invest in the music industry, that invest in artists, and that invest in Hollywood and productions. It's the same people. They put their money behind it because this reaches the masses and it's another way of another form of programming. If I remember somebody posted on I believe it was on Instagram, they posted the startup screen of one of these Call of Duty games, and it showed that they said that you have to accept the terms to this programming. I wish I can bring this up. I hopefully I can find it and I can post it on Discord or something, and you guys can go check it out in the Discord. I'll try to find it and have it there later. But it was definitely when you started the Call of Duty game, it said something about you know, something about the programming following the terms. So it was implying that the game was a programming and it wasn't trying to hide it, because this is exactly what it is. Like I said in the dark truth about video games, games like Call of Duty, they're used to create soldiers. That's what they do. They it might not work on every single person, but it's gonna work on a few people, and it's going to have an effect on a good amount of people that is going to have results. That's why they do it. That's why we see it repeatedly. Video games, you spend hours. Think about it. When you play a video game that you really like, and I know this because when I was a kid, I used to play video games for hours. Me and Taco, we used to play video games until 3, 4 in the morning on weekends. That was literally our thing. That's what we did. So you become immersed into the game. You know, you even lose track of time. So how people could deny to themselves that the video game has an effect, that's strange. And then when you look at all the imagery that they're putting in these video games nowadays, if you guys play Resident Evil, like the last Resident Evil that came out, tons of Masonic and satanic imagery. It's all over the video game. I was gonna make a full video on that Resident Evil franchise, but I'm not sure how you guys feel about video games content. But if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments in the chat, and I'll definitely take some time out and go through some games. Even what some games you guys think I should go through and make a video about. If you guys think any games, any suggestions. Taco actually wants to say something. Go ahead, Taco.
What you were saying, though, it's just straight programming. They put it in the game as like cosmetics, and they make it seem like it's just something small, no big deal. But it's all about the desensitizing the people, like they do with a lot of other things. They put it there in the plain sight for people to see, and like it's all over games. I saw someone put in the chat Harry Potter, for example, that new Harry Potter game that had a bunch of controversy. They had a bunch of hidden symbols throughout the entire game. I think we have someone over here. Like you can see, for example, it's hidden all throughout Harry Potter. They have all the symbolism, and I believe the creator of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, she even said that one of the main topics in the game was inspired by Freemasonry.
That's very interesting. Them symbols, those are the symbols inside of Harry Potter? That is crazy. You can't deny and even the one on the left is also in Harry Potter? Okay. Okay. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
the Freemason,
I
the
think
Freemason
the
symbol it was inspired by that.
I think the whole entire Harry Potter franchise, obviously, it's about a school of witchcraft. It could. I think it was inspired by the Demole and the Rainbow Girls, because if you think about it, the Demole and the Rainbow Girls is the school of magic for kids. That's what it is. They indoctrinate these kids young, and that's what we're seeing in the Harry Potter movie. You know, they show the kid being the kids from the Harry Potter movie being gathered around, and they all take them to the school and they all teach them there. That's what happens at these Demole, Masonic schools. They start teaching the kids young about ritual magic and the occult and all so on and so on. Literally, that's what goes on within the Demole organization. So when we see Harry Potter and we see these symbols that match, they're basically the same thing. You know, it's the Masonic all-seeing eye. The one to the left is the Masonic square and compasses, but it speaks for itself. You cannot deny what you're seeing. Just like we see with the Call of Duty, the same exact symbol that we see
And like that
in
upcoming game,
the Harry
Diablo
Potter.
4 that's coming out, super popular game, and literally it's all
Even
full of
like
symbolism.
another game, Diablo 4, which is another super popular game. A lot of people play it. The name of the game is Diablo. You understand that they're not trying to hide it. It's right in the cover. It's right in the name. The video game industry is just like the music industry. Like I said, is just like Hollywood. And if you want to play it, just try to remember to stay in control. Try to remember that you're living in the real world. As much as they're trying to make you forget about the real world and pull you out of it, you have to remember that you're a part of it. You can't let them guide you too far away. And I've already seen so many cases of people lose it all because of these games. They get possessed in a way by these games, that when they lose, or they don't get what they want, or they don't achieve what they want to achieve, they go in, or their parents are trying to get them off the game, stuff like that. There's already been situations where the children become upset and they'll start harming people over it. This is literally the effect the game has on their mind. Like I heard recently, a kid who took out his entire family because his mother took him off the game. I think it was an older situation, but it was alarming to me. He was willing to destroy his real life family because he had to get off of the game. That's crazy. But now we're going to be getting into some questions and any ideas that you guys have that you guys would like me to talk. I'll be responding to some of these super chats as well. I want to thank Jade Hope TV for the $10 donation. She said, "Thank you for bringing us the truth. We love you here in London. Hit the likes, y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much." I also want to thank Kabul for the $2 donation. I appreciate you. CS, thank you for the $2 donation. He said, "Both are puppets." Epic 8 Heck, thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. He said, "Devil May Cry video games." I'll definitely make a video on that. The Devil May Cry had a lot of imagery. I, Isaiah Miller, thank you for the $2 donation. Look at Destiny, the imagery, see what you think. I'm gonna definitely check that out. And Taco said one more. What was his name, Taco? Oh yeah, another thank you to CS. Taco said that you asked earlier with a donation. I appreciate you. Now let me get into some questions. The Andrew Tate situation, I'm actually making a video about that. Should be coming out Monday or Tuesday. So you guys could be expecting that shortly. I was gonna speak about it here, but I want to make sure that I, write out a video and make the video proper, say everything that I need to say correctly. Because the Andrew Tate situation, to me, I think I already called it. So I'll leave it at that. I believe I called that was gonna happen. Let me see any other questions. Anything else? This person, Panama, said, "Did you know that the same statue, the same exact statue outside of the New York courthouse, is the same exact statue from the Starbucks logo?" This is interesting because the Starbucks logo is actually a pagan god, if I'm not mistaken, or it's a siren. That's what it was. The logo is actually a siren. I was looking into that the other day, and it was very interesting what I found. You know, I would avoid people drink Star. I would advise people drink Starbucks because if you just look into their nutrition facts, and 1 cup of coffee is like 70 grams of sugar, that's like the amount of sugar for 3 days. That's literally the amount of sugar a person should be having in 3 days. So you should definitely try to avoid Starbucks at all costs. And specifically when they put imagery like of, things like this, it lets you know what side they're on and what's the purpose of what they're feeding us. Same thing with McDonald's and a lot of these fast food places. People think that they have nothing to do with this, but they do. They're owned by the Masons. These are companies that are created to destroy us. This is the food that's slowing us down, making us dumber, and it's taking us out at early ages. So we have to avoid certain foods. We have to try our best to eat as healthy as possible. Darlene Jones, thank you for the $2 donation. How do you feel about the Khalif Brothers case? I'm not too familiar with the case. I might have to look into it so I could be able to give you a response, but I'll definitely look into it and see what I can find. D is writing it down right now. Someone asked if Malcolm X was a Freemason. I actually never looked into Malcolm X being a Freemason, so I wouldn't know, but I definitely know that I found some interesting information on Martin Luther King. It appeared that his father was a Freemason, and it also appeared that he was made an honorary Freemason by a Grand Master. So Martin Luther King was definitely associated with the Masons, with the Prince Hall Masons. I might make a full video on that. I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that, but I might make a full video on that for sure. Any any topics you guys want me to touch on while we're here? Anything that's happened recently? Anything that you think that someone said do an updated Yeet video? Did something happen with Yeet? Is there a music video or something? I did a video on Yeet a few months back, and I a lot of people didn't know who he was yet, which was interesting because he was rising quickly, and he had a bunch of lines where he openly admitted to selling a soul. He had a lot of one-eye symbolism coming from him, so Yeet is definitely one of those puppets in the industry. I want to say thank you to Snotty A's. Is that what it says there? I'm sorry. My eyes. Snooty A's. Sorry about that. Thank you for the $5 donation. The cheers from Discord. Truth, we need a video on greatest sports to the world. On the great sports in the world. We have a few videos, 2 or 3 videos on sports. I did one on the NFL, on the NBA, but I'll definitely make one on soccer. I've already seen a few people request one on soccer, and I'll definitely make sure to make that in the coming days. Me and D, I'll have D remind me so I'll be able to look into it, and we'll see what we can find. I want to say thank you to Sky Brown for the $20 donation. I appreciate you. Cy Brown, sorry. Blue Sosa said to do a video about Sony. That'd actually be a very good idea. Sony, with the Michael Jackson situation, with all the drill artists they signed, I believe a video on Sony would be a great idea. I'll have to start working on that and writing on that soon. For everyone that's joining now, we're answering questions now. We already went through topics. So if you want to listen to the topics, you can start at the beginning, or you can sit here and ask some questions and, bring up some topics that you want me to talk about. And we'll right now I'm trying to interact with you guys. This is what I want the live stream to be a mixture of topics and basically answering your guys' questions and listening to you guys' ideas. Maybe even some days we can bring some of you guys on that are on the Discord and have a conversation like that. Do you guys like it like this, or do you guys not want me to ask questions and just do topics? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys like the live events as well? This is something I also wanted to know, if you guys are actually enjoying these live events, and am I getting good information out there to you guys, or do you guys prefer just for me to do the regular videos? You guys can let me know below what you guys think, please. We're still doing the videos. We do still do 3 videos a week, regular videos. Let me do a second of explaining the videos, because sometimes people mix up the actual videos with the podcast or even the live stream. They're 3 completely different things. You'll usually get two Truth Talk videos a week with me by myself. It's a scripted video that I wrote with what most of you should know me for, because it's what I've been making the longest. And then me and D, we do the Truth Talk podcast, which you guys, that's usually once a week. It's usually be me and D, or it used to be me and MI. We might make some episodes again soon. But then we have the Truth live stream, which the Truth live stream would be every single Sunday. We did one on Friday this week because there were some topics that I wanted to talk about that were happening immediately that I wanted to get into. But normally we're going to do a live stream on Sunday, which is this Sunday, like, today. And then we'll do like Monday or Tuesday, you guys are going to get a Truth Talk video. Then Thursday, you guys should be able to get a Truth Talk podcast video. And then you guys will get another Truth Talk video and then a live stream. So you guys should know that every week we're still doing regular videos where I go in and I do extensive research, but I wanted to bring in these live streams. So please let me know if you guys are enjoying these live streams, if these are something that we should continue to do, or if you guys don't like them and you guys just want me to make videos, let me know as well. Snotty A, thank you again for the Snooty A's. Thank you again for the $5 donation. He said, I'm sending evidence on the sports channel on Discord. Yeah, you guys should definitely go check out the Discord for sure. I'm going to be checking it out to see what he sends. You guys should definitely join the Discord. Mods, please span the Discord for me, please. Again, thank you for the $5 donation, Snotty. Snooty, I'm so sorry. I keep mispronouncing. Any football fans, join Discord. I would love to show the truth to newcomers. Definitely join Snooty on the Discord if you guys want to see more stuff on sports. Why do they? Richie GGG asks, is D my wife? Yes, D is my wife. Hayden Kemp said, do a video on Kim Porter. Definitely, that would be a good idea. I've spoken about Kim Porter with the Diddy situation, so I can definitely make a full video. Ace of Spades said, Yeet dropped an album with more demonic lines and also one-eye symbolism in the new Complex interview. I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you for bringing that up. Can you do a video? Let me actually talk about Lupe Fiasco real quick, because Mr. Bird said, can you do a video on Lupe Fiasco? I actually said on one of my previous live streams that Lupe Fiasco seemed like one of the artists that didn't sell out and wasn't down with the industry. I have to take that back. I looked into his rising in the industry. He had connections to Jay-Z from the very start before his career even took off. He was basically kind of like an industry plant. They built his career up before he had any fan base. He also was, there's just some of it, like, he made that one song and then he also kind of left the industry. But that beginning story just lets me know that I can't say that he's not a part of it, because it's just too much connections to show, Someone said Ty Ray said do a video on Floyd. We can possibly do a video on Floyd. This person said, please do a video on Thames. She won her first Grammy. She hangs out with Beyonce and Jay-Z. She told people she's not a religious leader. So much more. It's so suspicious because she's quiet now. I'll definitely look into Thames. The fact, whenever I see anybody associated to Jay-Z quickly, like the moment that they become famous, that's a red flag to me, and that lets me know that something needs to be looked into in there. And I'm not necessarily judging them for having a connection to Jay-Z, but it's what happens after them. If they start showing one eye symbolism, if they start being invited to certain private events that we know who are the ones that really show up there, we know what's going on. Any more questions, guys? Anything else you guys want me to touch on while we're here? I want to welcome. Sorry, what's the name again? I want to welcome Thick Pebbles. Welcome to the Truth Movement. Thank you for being a Truth Movement Max member. I appreciate you. We're actually going to be doing some for the Truth Movement members and Patreons. If you're a Truth Movement member and a Patreon member, we're going to be hosting a private Discord stream for you guys where we'll be talking with you guys and bouncing back ideas. We'll all get on stage together and we'll spend like 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to have Taco set that up for us soon. We definitely, so if you're a Truth Movement member, any member of Truth Movement member or Max member, and also or a Patreon member, I'm gonna post it on Patreon, and I'm gonna also post it in the Truth Movement member community. So if you're a Truth Movement member, make sure you're looking out for that so that you don't miss that stream. So you can have some, if you have any ideas you want to bounce off with me, let me know for sure. Looking at any more questions? This person said, what's your thoughts on Joe Rogan? I feel like Joe Rogan is a puppet for sure, like 100,000 million%. I feel like a few of these personalities that act like they're against the industry, but they're still kind of a part of the industry. I honestly feel that they're still 100% a part of the industry, especially Joe Rogan. The amount of money they gave him, the amount of power they give him, the way that they look up to him, he's kind of like the biggest podcaster out there. So I definitely feel like Joe Rogan is a part of them. And I've seen him with satanic imagery on his shirts and Masonic imagery as well. If you guys want me to make a video on Joe Rogan, comment Joe Rogan below, because that's actually a very good topic. D, write that for me, please, because Joe Rogan is actually someone that he always slips my mind because he's not like right in front of your face all the time. But he's one of the biggest voices out there now, Epic 8 Heck, thank you again for the $20 donation. I really appreciate you, man. I truly appreciate all the support you show. His question is, or their question is, do you plan to always remain anonymous throughout your time on YouTube? If so, understandable, just curious. I am never going to show my face if that's what you are asking. Yeah, I'm not planning on showing my face. I prefer to I believe showing my face is something's done for fame. My point of this channel is not about fame. I want to stay anonymous. I want to it's not about me becoming famous. It has nothing about this channel is nothing about me as a person. It's about the message that truth represents. So I don't think my face is necessary for that message, and it actually takes away from the glory of God. Like we need to be able to stay on point. And I feel like if I ever show my face, it'll distract. It'll just not be necessary. And it also, the things that I speak about, we know there's a lot of people that aren't happy with me. So there'll be no reason for me to show my face and, bring that upon myself. But that was definitely a good question. And I respect, of course, I know so many people that are curious about me showing my face, but like, it's not about my face or who I am. It's about the message and what's being, shown, and what we need to remember every day. It's a good question though. Thank you, Miss T 2000, for the $10 donation. Truth, I know you're probably focusing on recent issues, but but I would really love to see a video on Selena Quintanilla sending blessings and love to you and D. I'm gonna look at. I don't. That's Selena. Is that Selena? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know her last name. Yeah, that. If you guys are interested in seeing a video on Selena, let me know below. But Selena is actually a story that I always found interesting because I was really small really young when it happened, and I never really looked into the story, but I was a fan of her music as a kid because my mom would play it, my father would play it. And, when the situation happened, it was sad. They had the whole movie, everything it was so heightened up, and I never looked into it, which is interesting because I should definitely look into that and see if there's anything that happened way back then, if this was going on in the industry, since then. And I'm pretty sure it was, but in that part of the industry, because if you see the Selena movie, she appeared to like not be necessarily one of the most popular artists at the beginning. It took a while until she started singing in Spanish that she really started to blow up, Big Pebble said, "Thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate it." She said, "Can you do a video on Obama?" I can definitely do a video on Obama. I've done videos on Joe Rogan. I was gonna say when I meant Joe Biden. I've done videos on Joe Biden, and I've done a video on Trump before. And I've done videos on Bill Gates, but it got removed. And I did a video on Dr. Fauci, it got removed. But I'll definitely make a video about Obama. There was a lot of imagery even when he came out, and I want people to understand that I think that everyone that's given that position, that spot to be the leader of the free world, I believe that they're just puppets and they're a part of the system. I don't think that there's any other way to see it. But I'm definitely going to make a video on that if you guys want to see that. Any questions? Let me see. Question. Michael Turner asked a question. He said, "Does Truth Records sign artists the same way other record labels do, with a cash advance and then you get paid back, or do you guys have another formula?" The first artist we signed, we're doing it not like the industry. We gave the artists basically more than what any industry can give them. You understand? We try to give them, we gave them all their rights to their music. We gave them all the rights to what they wrote and what they did themselves, and also a very, 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 very reasonable split. They are getting more than what artists like Drake, artists like Kanye, even, or any artist that is in the industry would get. That's something that the industry won't do. But we're not making music to make money necessarily. We're doing it because I want to push a positive message. But I know that the artists need to make money, and they have, if they're gonna put their all in this, they have to be able to pay their bills and do whatever they got to do. That's why it's taking longer for us to get the music exactly how we want it up and running. But it's definitely going to get to a point where once the record label is big enough, we can give a big advance, and not even in a predatory advance where it'll be a way to, steal from the artist. It'll just be a way to get the artist, some money in their pocket so they can do what they got to do. But right now, what we're offering is we're paying for studio time. We're paying for everything that has to do to make the music. and then from there they make their percentage, which I can't legally talk about because it's all contracts and stuff. I want to Coramato. I want to thank Coramato always for the $20 donation. Thank you for your ministry. It's impacting thousands, soon to be millions of lives. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I truly do. Thank you so much. And my goal is, I never expected to get to millions. And when I first started this, I had nobody. It was like 5 or 6 people, and it slowly started to grow. And little by little, it made me happy to see that there was so much people that not only wanted to find the truth, but that were willing, that they were willing, and they wanted to stop playing along with the fake game of life that they have set up for us. They wanted to see things for what they really were. They wanted to experience, they wanted to understand why certain things were the way they were. And they followed this and built this community up with me. And now we have a community where 190,000 people can come together, speak about the truth, talk about the truth, and not have to be afraid or to be judged or to be looked at by the rest of the people that are sadly manipulated like we're crazy. Our community allows us to speak to one another, spread the truth, and we're spreading it. We're growing every single day. There's new people coming every day. There's new people that appreciate the contract and the content, and I really think that's a great thing. Any other questions? Miss T, she said, I love our community. That's beautiful. I believe that I think we all love each other here, and that this is a great place of love. And we're going to continue to grow this channel. We're going to continue to grow the Truth brand and the Truth community to the point where it's recognizable by others, and they see that we are no longer going to accept their lies. Young Jefe, happy birthday. I see you said it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. We're not going to wish happy birthday to Quavo, but we'll definitely wish it to you. Snooty A, once again, with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Let's go live on Discord. Yeah, maybe we can do another live later on today. Maybe I'll see, because I have content that I have to work on. But maybe Taco and maybe we can do like 30 minutes on there. We'll see. I'll definitely see it. I appreciate you guys for sure. So I'll try to make the time for it. Any other questions? Any other concerns you guys want me to speak on? I actually what do you guys think about this? I know I did the video a while back with interviewing a Freemason, but I want to see if I can find another Freemason person that's willing to talk with us, but someone that's willing to argue a debate or something, or go into more details. Because I did the interview with that person, and I was expecting them to at least reveal something. And they were just kind of I guess they were afraid, or I don't know what their problem was. I did my best to block out their voice and everything that they asked me to do. And they agreed to make the content. So when they weren't trying to answer questions, it just kind of seemed odd to me. But if you guys, I think that would be a great conversation. If we found a Mason there's a lot of Masons that claim they're not satanic. I would love to have a discussion with them. I would love to have a discussion with them, because I would prove within 5 minutes that the Masons are connected to the devil. In 5 minutes. It will take me 5 minutes to prove. I want to thank Young Jefe for the $5 donation. Thanks, man. Keep up the good work. Also want to thank Epic A Heck again for the $2 donation. Ever going to do a video on Wiz Khalifa? I will do a video on Wiz Khalifa. I've been trying to not make so much content on artists only. I've been trying to also make content on other stuff as well. And I'm going to start working a bit more on the artist side again, and get some more artists done for sure, and see what we can find from the upcoming artists, because there's a lot of newer artists and a lot of younger artists that are spawning that I'm, not really aware of. But if I put my ear and start listening and start looking around and see what it is, we can start saving some of these kids as well. Young Hefe again, thanks for the $5 donation. He said, "Thanks, man. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that." Drew the Dude, thank you for the $2 donation. How about you make a video on Mr. Beast? I've seen a lot of you guys telling me to make a video on Mr. Beast. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna look into him and I'm gonna see if I find something to report on, then it's gonna happen. Because if I see so many of you guys, my audience, telling me, then there's obviously something that you guys saw or feel when it comes to Mr. Beast that is the reason why you're telling me to look into him and to make sure, So I'm definitely gonna look into him because I do not pay attention to him. Like I said, he's like, I see him as mostly friendly content, but I saw a lot of people felt disturbed with him giving people eyesight challenge and the fact that he's always giving money in a certain way. Like I would say that the way that Mr. Beast gives money for content, really, it's not really giving money. It's like it's just content in that sense, But they still, it's a good and a bad, I guess, in a way. But I'll definitely look into Mr. Beast if you guys want me to. Victoria Johnson said, "I'm late. I'll watch replay. Bye for now." No problem, Victoria. We'll see you. Like I said, if anybody's joining now, you guys can restart the video and watch the live stream from the beginning and catch the topics. Right now, what we're doing is we're answering questions and we're talking about anything that you guys want me to talk about. This is, like I said earlier, this is how I want the live stream to be. We're gonna have two parts each time that we do the Sunday live stream, where I can answer some of you guys' questions and we can go, talk about topics that you guys want me to talk about. How do you guys feel about Case and that? Because I haven't really seen him do much besides that one incident that happened with that one girl that was saying that she felt that they did something to her at one of his parties. But other than that, like I haven't really been hearing much about him besides him being a streamer and being with the big rappers. But if you guys want me to look into Kai, let me know in the chat now, and I'll definitely take some time and check him out. Snooty A's, thank you again for the $5 donation. Can we expect a Patreon exclusive on WEF? Yeah, we can definitely expect that. That sounds like a Patreon exclusive type of content for sure. Andre MTZ said a podcast episode with Nitrous TV. I've never really spoken to Nitrous TV. I just, a lot of people send me that he reacts to my content. I never really had a conversation with him, so I wouldn't be able to answer that since I don't really know him. The Bandana Boy said, "What about Burna Boy?" I've heard a lot of you guys want me to look into Burna Boy, and I said I will. There's a couple of artists from that type of music for sure. Like if I'm not mistaken, Burna Boy, Skepta. There's a few of you guys a few of these artists that you guys keep bringing up that I gotta remember. So D, write these names down so that I can remember and do a video on. What do you guys think about Central C? Have you heard about Central C? I saw him performing at some of the festivals and all this, and he's showing some Masonic imagery as well. And he's like one of the big artists coming right now, like popping out of the UK, if I'm not mistaken. What do you guys think about him? Should I make a video about him, or is that something that you guys wouldn't be interested in? Someone said DeVito. I can make a video on DeVito. I've seen him. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had a Freemason chain on. Epic A Heck again with the $20 donation. I truly appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. He wanted to let us know, just letting you know I'm going to be late every Sunday. I get off work at 5 a.m. and sleep half the day. Keep up the great work, though. That's a hardworking man right there. I appreciate it. And I understand. We'll be looking out for you every time, though. We appreciate you. Any more questions you guys want me to answer? I want to apologize for the technical difficulty that happened earlier. I'm truly sorry about it. I don't know what was going on. Taco managed to fix it though, thank God. And next time around, it won't happen again. We're gonna be even more prepared and make sure that the live streams are getting better and each time. What do you like I said earlier, do you guys feel like the live streams are getting better or do you guys think that we still got a lot of work? Because I'm trying. I really am trying. I'm trying to get the hang of it. I usually, would write my videos and have a lot of time to be able to go through it and stuff. So I'll definitely let me know what you guys feel about today's live event, besides the moment where, we had the technical difficulty at the beginning. Someone said agree to do a video on Logan Paul. I'll definitely, I think I already spoke about the Paul brothers in one of my recent videos. Epic A Hex said Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson is actually interesting because there was a photo shoot of Pete Davidson alongside of Julia Fox. Yeah, he was with Julia Fox, and this was right before Kanye West would end up with Julia Fox, and Pete Davidson would end up with Kim Kardashian. And in the photo shoot, they were showing Kim Kardashian and not Kim Kardashian. They were showing Julia Fox and Pete Davidson like dolls, like puppets. I spoke about this a while back, and they were actually standing on a Masonic checkerboard floor. Taco, if you can bring this up. Is a picture of Pete Davidson and Julia Fox. It's like a picture they did together. Yeah. This lady said lab grown meats. Thoughts? I wouldn't recommend you eat lab grown meats. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't eat anything that isn't, organically made or isn't done normal. It's not in this normal state. I wouldn't eat organic, grown meats. I wouldn't eat anything genetically modified. I would try to stick to as most organic and stuff that doesn't have hormones and all that stuff as much as you can. Yeah, you see that this is the picture right here. This is Pete Davidson and Julia Fox. This is right before they got with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. You see the Masonic checkerboard floor. We saw how much fame Pete Davidson got after, and Julia Fox's whole career kind of spawned right after that. That this right there is just how the industry shows us what's gonna happen before it happens. Every single time. It's constant. Like they show them as puppets, they show them as dolls, and that's what a doll is, a puppet, something that you can control. Very interesting when you ask me. We're gonna be wrapping up soon. And we have any other questions? Anything else? Anybody else? Bandana Boy said they really like when I put hard work in my videos. I appreciate you, Bandana Boy. Thank you. Mr. Bird said, "Can you look into the Michelle Obama Michelle theory for the Theory Tuesdays?" Yeah, maybe we can do Theory Tuesdays live here on the live stream. Maybe that we can turn that into. It won't be Theory Tuesdays no more, but we can have a segment where we just go over theories that some of them might be stuff that we have to debunk, stuff that we have to show that is fake and is not true and is spreading misinformation in the truth community. And then there's some theories that have truth to them that we can discover together. So let me know if you guys want to, we can add that to one of the segments, like maybe before or after we get into questions, we go into some theories. That'd be cool. Like, I think that'd be something that we would all enjoy. You guys can let me know in the chat. Someone said dope channel. What happened to the music? We still have music coming. It's just been very expensive to make. It cost us a lot of money, and we did not make really any money back. So we have to wait until we, are able to save up as much money as possible again to reinvest into it. It's not really we're not really attempting to make a lot of money, but we definitely need to be able to make enough money to keep on making more music. So if the we drop a song and it makes enough for us to be able to make another song, then we see it as success and we can continue to make it happen. But right now, what we're doing is that we're saving and we're building into it with the channel. As the channel grows, we'll definitely have more opportunities to make more music. And I also have more ideas. I actually want to make a legit show, an actual show where we have actors and all that's pushing, our message, and that's not going to be negative programming for the kids. But that's going to be in the future. And we're going to find a way to make that happen. If there's any actors in here that are part of the community, maybe you could act a part of one of our, series or something that we do, something short series that we'll make where we'll be pushing our agenda. Epic A Hex said Haley Bieber doing one eye symbolism. Yeah, I definitely I remember, isn't Haley Bieber the same one that was like dating Drake at a point when she was still, too young for Drake, if I'm not mistaken? I think that's her. And then it's interesting to see her with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, I made a video on Justin Bieber because a lot of people used to request him. They used to tell me to make a video on him and all that. And I want you guys to know that I did that video on Justin Bieber. You guys can check. It was a while back. And I showed that in that one video, there was a bunch of Masonic imagery and Freemason symbols and a bunch of stuff. You guys should definitely check that video out. It's on the channel. Just search up Truth Talk Justin Bieber. You should be able to find it. If not, if you scroll down on the channel for a while, you'll be able to find it. Taco said he's linking it in the chat now. So if you guys want to see it, you guys just Taco will have it in the chat. VF Good said, "What's your thought on the Little Baby and Nardo Wick new video with the fire?" I have not seen that video, but if it's something I should check out, definitely go on the Discord and put it in the must-watch videos or in the suggested topics. I also want to thank my mods, AK, Sunset, Overdrive, Historian. I appreciate all of you guys for all the hard work you guys do keeping the chat clean. And I really appreciate all the support you guys show over in the Discord as well. I really want to thank you guys and I appreciate you. And if Showing Alliance is in here, thank you too, Showing Alliance. He's always showing support for us. Thank you, Showing Alliance. I appreciate you. You guys go follow Showing Alliance on Instagram and also follow me on Instagram as well at @thetruthis_01. I post videos all the time, upcoming videos and clips and stuff. And also, I'm planning on doing more stuff over there, like more short form content for the Instagram. So if you guys want to check that out, you guys could also follow me there. But we're going to wrap this up here today, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming back. And I want to remind you guys that these live streams are only on Sundays. Every other day, we have regular episodes. We have, regular Truth Talk or a podcast. So you guys, if you guys want to be a part of the live stream, you guys can come Sundays. We're also going to be doing some Discord live events. So you can join us on Discord if you want to be a part of those. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all and I love you all. God bless. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everybody. Hope you guys have a great day.